Hey everybody, it's Ryan, and if you're looking for a sedan sports car that seats four people, if you have a family or if you just need, the space to be able to have four people, I'm going to do a comparison of this 2014 Porsche Panamera GTS in a very rare color and a very rare spec, tons of carbon. I think it has every single option possible produced in the US, and this 2017 Maserati Granturismo MC. And the differences if you're looking for a four-seater and the differences to consider when these two vehicles are side by side. All right, so after owning this and driving roughly 5,000 miles in this Porsche Panamera GTS, the driving experience owning this before owning this is different in that this is more like a grand touring per the GTS. It is just a very refined vehicle. It is easy to drive once you figure out, like, hey, you can't. It automatically will start in second gear unless you put it in one of the sport modes, or you put it in the shift mode. There's like these paddle shifters that are on the steering wheel, which I'll show here in a sec. So getting in it and figuring out, how to actually drive the vehicle took about 5 minutes, but then I was like, oh, okay. Overall, just fantastic. This does have a button to open up the exhaust, so it does have a valved exhaust. Has all the options. I'll kind of highlight them real quick. So it does have the wing. It does not, I think some have like a windshield wiper here. Maybe that's just like on the executive or something. Personally, I'm not a big fan of it. These never get dirty. And if you're like me and this is more of a nice weather vehicle, then you're never going to get that dirty. But it definitely is a fantastic daily run around the town. The kids love it because it's low to the ground. This is in the lowest ride height setting. It does have the OEM air ride spec where it will adjust on the fly. If you were going to drive crazy, I'm not that kind of guy. I respect my vehicles, but and it does adjust based on when you're driving, and it's sort of adaptive air ride, I think is what it's actually called. But you have option with 3 buttons to either raise it up to get up a driveway, which I definitely needed because the way my driveway is, it just was not going to make it up there without scraping. Even at like a very tight angle, it was going to be a challenge. But one thing I love about this vehicle, I was really worried about it, was you're not seeing much out the back, because especially if you're driving around with there's a shade that rolls up. It's just, it does have a kind of a tight rear end as far as the being able to see out the back. But I can't imagine driving one of these that does not have in the entertainment console there is 4 different camera options, because this thing has cameras right on the rear, has a 360 camera setup. It does have cameras here, and then it does have camera here in the front. So if you're ever looking at one of these and it doesn't have this, then it doesn't have 360 camera. And it's not like sensors, it's an actual camera. I think these little dots right here are the actual sensors, but the cameras is what I really pay attention to, because I trust the sensors, but this vehicle also is PP'd F, and so the reason that the paint looks so fantastic, being a 2014, and granted it only has 34,888 miles on it, this is all covered in PPF. The side mirrors are both PPF, and even the headlights are covered. So that's why these things look brand spanking new. So if you protect the vehicle with PPF, you can actually go on top of that, and you can apply ceramic coating and other stuff to make it look really, really nice. This actually, just to make it look even as shiny as possible, had a guy that does fantastic paint correction ceramic coating go to town on this thing in January, about 30 miles ago, and just did a number on it. This has the optional painted trim along the sides. Some quick highlights on this. This added the floor mat protection here. So the carpet underneath this is brand new, because this like insert goes in all 4 4 compartments here. But you have carbon here This actually opens up, so if you need a little bit extra storage, you have that. Have a little storage there. I don't know why I'd ever use it. Each seat up front can be set to its own seat position. So you have 1, 2, yeah, 3 seat options. This has like, I don't know, 14 different settings or whatever as far as the seat. Like this actually like comes out, goes in, you know, squishes you, goes up and down. It's got every option you'd probably want or need in comfort. And these are air conditioned seats and they are heated seats. So if you're ever looking at these and they have like the slick leather, then you know they're not heated or air conditioned. Maybe heated, but the perforated seats here, this leather is a telltale sign that it is. It does have AC, and then obviously the indicator here is AC or heat. Then you have your automatic shut off option to turn on or off, which helps with gas mileage. I never use that because it just sounds so great with the way it's loud. This button will raise or lower the privacy screen on the rear. This opens up your exhaust. This is your lane assist. This is so you don't slip and slide when you want to go crazy on the gas. This is your height adjustment if you want to raise it up and get over things. You have 2 options here. With this option, you can lower the car to 1 or 2 positions. As mentioned, this is in the lowest position. You have Sport and Sport Plus. This Sport Plus option will adjust the height, but also it'll adjust the gear shifting. So instead of starting in 2nd gear, it will start in 1st. There's the this is an upgraded steering wheel that has all the paddle shifters here on the side, left and right. It's also carbon fiber, and it is also heated, which is pretty nice. I really appreciated having a heated steering wheel until I had this one. Here's all your controls. Very easy to use. This even has these hidden cup holders here. So you actually have 3 cup holders, one there, and then here. Never use this because I don't allow my kids to bring drinks in the car. And then you have leather here, 2-tone or cross stitching here. This is the part of the Sport Chrono package. So if you wanted to time yourself doing stuff, I guess, you can do that. It's all controlled via the controls there. There's also built-in GPS, and there's additional controls inside the armrest for charging devices. And then there's this cigarette lighter opens. Not that you would ever use that for cigarettes, but then there's you can use that charger as well. That's all in carbon fiber. The whole roof on this is Alcantara, which is just like, it's like a suede, but better. Very nice. The rear, the kids love this because it's like they're driving a limo. The controls here, you can actually, you hit it once, these will go down, this skirt will go in, hit it again, and the windows will go all the way down. These are illuminated door sills, carbon fiber, all carbon fiber, everything here. Kind of cool. These fold down really easily because there's a clip right here that allows you to get into the trunk space. That's nice if you have it hooked up to a charger and you have it under, let's just say, a lift where you can just pull your chargers directly from the inside and charge it. You don't have to worry about raising this thing up and possibly hitting. If you're parking under a lift, there's storage there on the back side of these seats. Also, these come with, this one came with soft closing doors, as noted there. Does have a moonroof that will actually open so you get some air. It doesn't slide back, but it like lifts up, which is kind of cool. Going all the way around, these fold in, so if you're transporting it or you're parking somewhere, you have that option. Doesn't have this actual is a, if you have the remote key on you, you just turn this and it will start the vehicle, all carbon, but this actually you can take out if you really wanted to from a security standpoint. Very, very, very nice. And then the rims on this are offset to where they're flush, no spacers needed. And then you have your red calipers. Just an overall fantastic, these are actually smoked. These are smoked. And then you have your everything on the back, very nice. Now when comparing to the Maserati, it is it's a different experience. This thing can be loud. If you press the sport button, it is very loud because it's a Ferrari engine. This also has wheel spacers. So these are OEM optional rims, but with color matching for 2017 center caps. valve stems. You can see the spacers in there. It gives it more of a flush stance. I guess if you're going to track this thing, which I would never do, it gives it better handling. This also has been lowered with Formula Dynamics lowering springs, and so you have that nice, you know, like that consistent gap right there all the way around. This being so low, I had to get curb ramps to be able to get up my driveway. You just hit it at a very tight turn, and it will go in. This whole entire front here is PPF. This whole entire hood is carbon fiber, and it does sit very low, about 3.5 inches off the ground. It only has the one door, so versus this, where from a convenience sake with the kiddios, yes, you can get in a little bit easier, a little faster than with the Maserati. Side note, a little exhaust note action. So if you're in the driver's seat with the flaps open, little crackling if you can hear it. So here, oh, also this one, yeah, this one doesn't have a proximity getting in and out versus this does. So there's like a sensor or something. If you just have the keyless entry key on you, you just pull the handle and it unlocks. This doesn't have that. Do I really care? No. But with the Maserati, it definitely has an option to unlock it, and this does require a key. So this is a key option. You got to stick the key in. This one, no key. This one, key. It's got two options here on the handle. You have a soft push button here. You just tap that, and it's electronically open. But then it also has another button right here. That's like a regular traditional. Make sure that doesn't hit. Yep. A traditional door where it's like it forces the locking mechanism. So that's kind of cool. The the Maserati though, this is like, oh, step up when it comes to like a sporty experience. Both cars here, this is I think this is 20%. I think it is. They're both tinted. You know, they from a temperature standpoint, AC and heat and all that stuff works fine. These just have heated seats. They don't have air conditioned seats. Now getting in the back, as I mentioned, is a little bit different. So this is how you get in. Your space here is nice and tight. I'd say space-wise, if you look at the back here, so there's the back of this seat, space-wise, and then coming around, you know, it's pretty comparable. I mean, it's pretty comparable. You know, as far as your seat in there, both have bucket seats. This on the Porsche, the drink holders are this way. This one is like this. This comes up if, you know, for whatever reason, if you want that. Little holder there with all your controls. More of a sporty feel for sure. And but less controls, so you know, less, you know, controls in the back. But again, you got a Ferrari engine, so it's kind of hard to get past that. This also does have carbon fiber rear seats. It's actually pretty rare. Carbon fiber. These are like hard to find versus your leather. And this is like hard leather there as well. This has a lot of, these are all your airbags. There's airbags everywhere. Now granted, this is two doors, so your only window here in the back is that one right there. But the doors here are much, much bigger. So look at the length of this door and then the length of this door, because you're trying to fit people in the back seat. This will move all the way forward. The controls here on the side. This is kind of neat where your heated seat is here on the side versus up there. No big deal. These are also carbon fiber here. Just like in the Porsche, this is all carbon fiber. No sticky buttons. Sticky buttons is a thing with a lot of Ferrari-based vehicles. And that usually happens, you know, up there with some of the controls or some of these buttons up here. I don't know if it's people leave these out in the heat. I don't know. Like, this thing stays in the garage. It never stays outside. Maybe if I go somewhere and I park, you know, that's about it. But never, ever, ever just stay outside in the elements. So maybe that's what causes sticky buttons, I guess. Or if you're like in Florida or California, or maybe, you know, somewhere where it gets super hot, I don't know. But a lot of carbon fiber, just like in the Porsche. Carbon, 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 carbon. Steering wheel, just like the Porsche, the steering wheel is also carbon. Very similar design inside, except it's reversed. So you have black instead of the red, but then you have the red stitching. Carbon door sills here. These are not illuminated like on the Porsche. Bose system here. Now, from a sound system standpoint, when the doors are closed and the windows are up, yes, it is still loud if you have the valves open on the exhaust. But the if you don't have the valves open, like, it's pretty quiet, and you know, it drives really nice. It's not, I would say, inside the vehicle, it's pretty, the sound is not that loud. Now, you roll the window down, you can definitely hear it. I mean, it's like a very different volume experience when you're driving around. Space wise, as far as the center console, just as much inside, or the armrest, just about as much space as you have in the Panamera. You have, you know, 2 cup holders here versus in the Porsche is up here. So that's fine. So technically you have 3 in the Porsche and 2 here. I'm not sure why you need 3 sitting up front. This is also carbon fiber, just like in the Porsche. This is all carbon, just like in the Porsche. So every carbon option, kind of, for the most part, like you see in the Porsche, this particular version of Maserati Granturismo MC has the same. Not heated steering wheel, but you do have the carbon fiber. No moonroof, which is fine because it just looks just so sick the way it is right here. This is all carbon fiber on the rear spoiler. Exhaust comes straight at the back as 2 versus coming out of the back as 2 on either side. These are chrome. The other ones are black. The gas is on the driver's side. The Porsche, it's on the passenger side. That was like, obviously it took me a second or 2 to figure that out. Carbon fiber on the handle on the Maserati. Porsche is painted. Carbon fiber on the side mirrors on the Maserati. The Porsche is painted. These also fold in. The Porsche, like, those like kind of flip up and in. These just go in, so they only stick out a couple inches. Just like on the Porsche, they have their version of these kind of side skirts and projector headlights. The you know, from the front standpoint, I mean, they're both just like nice looking cars. The hood scoop on this whole hood is carbon fiber. Then you also have, and you can see it on the inside here a little bit, but the whole entire hood, the whole hood is carbon fiber. These are active vents in and out, and so it shoots air in, obviously, when you're driving, and then it lets air out, lets the hot air out, just to keep the engine cooler. This is more of a mid-engine. So if you look at the length, the hood on the Panamera versus here, the engine here sits like right here versus like more up front. And so the weight ratio is a little bit different as far as how these vehicles are built. I think that's just a Ferrari thing because, again, it's a Ferrari engine. And so it's kind of, you know, when you're open the hood, the motor's like way back here. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. Driver's side here. When the doors, that's another thing. When the, notice here, these are frameless. Versus on the Porsche, they're framed in on the glass. And you ever see people that put your hand here to shut the door? Never, ever, 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 ever do that. I do it because I don't want to touch the paint. I always put my finger here and I close the door. And then when it closes, it raises up. So like watch. Whoop, it goes up like that. Then here, you have your, I think they're like steel pedals, MC logos. You have that steel kick place right there, so the carpet's all kept nice and neat. And it has this as far as your mirrors folding in, so you pick which one you want, left, right, or you rotate it and it folds these in, or you can adjust the mirrors, you know, with that. Overhead, not a lot of options as far as the garage. You have the security, so if this thing gets lifted and somebody wants to tow it, it'll set the alarm off. Very simple. Some people complain, they're like, oh, it doesn't have a lot of tech. Not a lot of tech. Who in their right mind would want to have a high, quote unquote, tech vehicle that's got a Ferrari engine in it that's loud as all get out? I mean, I don't know. I don't get that. That's like, that is the last thing. I don't even turn the radio on. It's hooked up. I can hook it up to a phone, play Bluetooth. That's all well and fine. You have your stuff here. You have your paddle shifters, which are just super fun. I mean, because they're so big. So anywhere you're driving and steering, you can get your fingers on them. And so if you want to have some fun with the paddle shifters, the downshifting is just, I mean, so you can just tell the difference. That is without the flaps open. So you have 3 different modes here. You have park. You have this, which is like slows down the engagement of the. I've never used it, but so you don't just like launch. I think it would like start it in a higher gear. Then you have sport, so you can hear the difference. And then it notifies it right there. Sport. You have a couple different options here on the steering wheel. Turn that off, and then you have your display here, which is, I mean, it's easy to navigate. It's not a big thing. And then you just have this display. Some people are like, oh, this is so weird. Look at this. It's got like, you can literally dial a phone from here. Who cares? Like, seriously, who cares? I don't care. Very, very cool. Easy to read here. This is an add-on. This is an aftermarket Bluetooth that connects there. And so you can turn on your Bluetooth and connect to your phone and have all the music you want. And I've used it maybe like less than 10 times in the last 5 months because I like to listen to the motor. I like to listen to the engine. This is just a fun car to drive from that standpoint. And then this is easy to use as far as switching it into these paddle shifting modes. If you're in drive, you just tilt it over in this, and then you're either going up or you're going down. And a cool thing is if you are, let's just say, in 3rd or 4th gear and you're in town and you're coming to a stoplight, it will automatically downshift if you don't downshift. It will automatically do that for you. So you can have the fun of upshifting when you're driving, and then if you forget, it's not like it's gonna bog down or anything. It's smart enough that it will electronically change that for you on the fly if you forget. So that's kind of a cool feature that, you know, it would be like different if it was like a stick shift and you left it in 4th gear and you come to a stop, the car's gonna shut off, it's gonna stall. Now, one thing to also note is on the Maserati, it does have rear sensors. It gives you an audio notification, and then it gives you sort of a green, yellow, red as you get close. So there's definitely that if you're needing to park. This particular model does not have front sensors. I don't even think they make OEM optional cameras for this version, but I believe there's aftermarket options. But I'm more of like a naturalist. I'm not gonna stick a whole bunch of things that don't belong in the car, especially on the outside. And to get a full appreciation for the exhaust, when you do it when you're inside, it is ridiculous. So hopefully that gives you some insight as to the difference between these two 4-seaters, Maserati Granturismo MC 2017, with a lot of specs on it because it is like upwards of 200K MSRP, and a 2014 Panamera GTS with pretty much every single option you could possibly have. I will say though, if you're in and out of the car with the kids, need to get in the back seat a lot faster, like that's like a regular thing, the Panamera, just from a usability and convenience standpoint, is definitely the way to go. But if you're like, I don't give a crap about that, I'll be inconvenienced with a couple extra seconds to put the seat down and they'll get in, Maserati is a blast to drive. Hope this helps, and we'll talk to you soon.